Hey, good morning. Welcome to Above Life Channel. The purpose here is to inspire your spirit and to fill you with hope. This is a Monday video where I'm not sure what's going to kind of go down here because there's been a lot of energy. There's been a lot of spiritual contact. Let's just say it that way. I'm like, whoa. If you were not here, you definitely need to check out the momentary visit that we got yesterday in the Sunday morning coffee video from a spirit in the afterlife who came in when we were talking about beauty and flowers and home. And she came in to visit and just say hello, which is the first time that's happened when I've been live. And so I'm just going to honor that. I've really dedicated myself as a psychic and a medium and a energetic coach, an intuitive life coach, to now on this healing journey in the last 7 months. I'm really just being present for what is here. And that means letting go of the need to control that and arrange it just so, which is a mind thing, right? And to just really allow that spontaneity and the mystery to kind of weave together the experience here, because I really do believe that our spiritual growth and our human capacity to grow and to be connected, and that is through the energies of amplifying love and a true understanding that we really are related to one another, and giving the opportunity then here, like on Above Life Channel, for you to have experiences that bring in additional resources and information for you besides just your mental capacity to overthink things, because we all know how well that works. And emotional trauma and feelings of guilt or shame or not worthy enough, all the things we may have felt from our grandfather or from a teacher in second grade or from a lover or a spouse or a sibling or whatever it may have been for you in our earlier relationships, and then continuing on through our lives. This now moment is the opportunity for us to really be able to experience soul, spirit, energy, connection, support in ways that we don't have to necessarily explain that or articulate it. You get to feel it and be in a state that a safe and sacred space to experience that, which is what I want Above Life Channel to be for you. And I am really, really, really recognizing on my own journey, because I'm shedding layers of stuff, you guys. Like, I am a completely like dumbfounded by all that has happened for me in the last year. And because of that, I have this incredibly monumental opportunity to show up in ways to clear old patterns. And I'm not seeking perfection. I'm seeking personal connection. I'm seeking the opportunity to bring that spirit energy, to bring soul understanding more of the relationships we have, soul to soul, person to person, and then spirit to spirit as well. And that includes a lot of beautiful web energy. And instead of focusing on the negative, the bad, or the entertainment value or factor or the drama of the situation, let's focus on the tenderness, the natural, organic nature of spirit energy and messages and support and healing and all of that beautiful mosaic. Okay. So yesterday, yeah, I was like, hey, wait, why are you here? I'm like, what? Why are you here? So instead of saying no and being all rude in spirit, I'm going to be like, sure, okay, let's talk. Let's have a conversation about that. And I apologize. Like, I'm freezing right now. Like in true Memorial Day fashion here in the United States, it is raining. And I thought it was going to be a little bit warmer than it is. And in my office is cold right now. So I apologize for looking like I just rolled on out of bed. I didn't. Your girl got ready for you today, and the day is flying by. I have a session today, so I can't stay on here too long because I have to keep my energy available for me today because I need time for me today. And so I got to make sure I have a nice little flow and balance. And even though energy is regenerative, we also have to take care of ourselves. Okay. So you know what I feel. So I'm bringing back in from yesterday when I talked in Sunday Morning Coffee, I'm bringing back in my a little bit of sage bundle that I have. This is the Dragon's Blood Sage that I mentioned yesterday again on Sunday Morning Coffee. Check that out. It was the topic of likes. So you guys have assignments this week about likes, and it's a fun assignment. It's not a bad, hard thing to do, but so go ahead and have a sniff of this if you would like. It is a form of sage as well, so it can help you to release excess energy that might be helping you feel kind of fuzzy today. Yeah, it even helps if you have like allergies and you're feeling like you took allergy medicine and you're feeling like, it might help you ground a little bit. Just kind of feeling this energy. I love the red color. I've been reading, I gave myself the gift of the ability to read a book. That was what my plan was today. When I forgot that I had a session today, I'm like, what? On Memorial Day. Oops. That's okay. It's totally fine. It's another day of the week, right? For me. But gave myself the gift of a book that it kind of found me. You know how that is? I was on the Amazon and I was reordering some, I don't know, moisturizer. I was looking at some journals and I had ordered a card deck for a friend of mine whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, Passion Pixie. Happy birthday to my sweet, sweet friend, my priestessing friend, my psychic friend. Sending you so much love today, grounding earth energy for you, dear one. Yeah. But I was on the Amazons trying to order some stuff, and I had ordered a card deck for her like a while ago, a couple weeks ago, because I was afraid I was going to forget because my brain isn't so great. Like part of the whole, ah, how do I want to move through the world? How am I going to be? Isn't like huge questions I'm asking myself, but it's what's being revealed to me. And so in the moments, I'm getting directly the clear information. I can't recall stuff. So like people that I may have channeled before, I'd have to watch the video to see what we talked about. It's almost like a lot of that stuff has just been wiped away from me. Like I don't have to carry it with me. Like there's no pressure for me to continue to do things that old ways. It's now new ways. So I'm being open to however that looks. Without pressure of expectation or disappointment or anything like that. That's healing. I'm releasing that stuff. And so hopefully as I do that, you can do that for your life. So I was ordering some stuff on the Amazons and I saw a book came up and it was connected to a book that I had been reading for the last year or so. Well, not quite a year. Ever since I had my surgery, I've been reading this book called Women Who Run with Wolves. I'm sure many of you have heard it. It's like a iconic book for divine feminine, for women's empowerment, for feminism, for just personal development and growth. And it's deep. It's not like an how-to or anything. It's like this. It's really a medicine kind of, and it's energetic is what I'm going to say. So I'm only on like chapter 6 because I keep re-listening to different chapters, and it's not a big hurry to get through a book anyway like that. It's medicine, right? So in the right timing and alignment. And so another book came in and I'm like, I'm going to give myself permission to read this whole book today if I choose to, or in the next couple days. And it's called If Women Rose Rooted. Have you heard of that book? If Women Rose Rooted. I'm listening to it on Audible and it's beautiful. Right now I'm listening to one of the stories that we tell is the first chapter, and a story about wells in Ireland. And then she talked about Bridget, the goddess there. And I feel connected to that and did work with Mari Kennedy, who does the Celtic Wheel a couple of years ago was it last year? I think it was last year when I was going through when I had my surgery and all that stuff. So anyway, so there's a lot there, but I'm giving myself permission to listen to that today. If women rose rooted, oh, so much medicine. But so experiences, being present and allowing ourselves to what would be seen as indulgent and not like, I'm like, I should be focusing on my business. I should be like scheduling sessions. I should be doing things like I should. I have all that on my mind as well. But that's not what life is about. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about the experiences. And so today we'll see what happens. We'll see what comes through in our conversation today. There you go. All right. Oh, this smells so good. Good morning in the chat. I see you all here. Nice to see you. Oh, are you in London? That's lovely. Oh, hello, London. Good morning from the United States. Oops, I keep clicking on this thing here. Arizona, Illinois, Kentucky, Kansas. Great. Yay. Okay. All right. Now I'm realizing I might have a problem. Houston, we may have a problem. I think I left my coffee upstairs. Oh, I need my coffee. Oh. Okay, I'm in a quandary. Usually I have an extra, I'll see if I can get it here just a minute. Hey, can you hear me? I didn't even check my sound. Can you thumbs up? I'm assuming you can hear me. So let's get a text here. Go on and see. Could you bring me my coffee, please? I'll ask my upstairs neighbor if they'll bring me my coffee. In the meantime, for my friend Passion Pixie, we're going to celebrate her birthday here, her rebirthing day, her coming into this life. She's got a major transformational year. Still lots of stuff going on. So we're going to get a little card for her and on behalf of everyone here. Ooh. Transience. This energy here is just really, there's energy of earth, there's air element, there's the sky, there's a lot of psychicness around here. There's a lot of energy about allowing yourself to rest. Oh, actually, it doesn't feel like rest. It feels like leaning into the wind almost. Do you see how the wind is like really dominant here? And wind is about change. Wind is about opportunity for creativity. Wind is about clearing the mind, clearing the worries. But it's also like this feeling of like you're sitting down and you're leaning back into the wind and that it can hold you. That which is natural, that is around you, can hold you and support you. That's what energy is, you guys. That's what energy is. The sun on your face, that's energy. Okay. The raindrops on your skin, that's energy. Okay. The vibrancy of the colors that come alive in the spring, that's energy. Okay. And all of these things are rhythmically pulsing and moving around us at all times. So if you are leaning in to the support that is around you, metaphysically, energetically, naturally, good to go. Like, that's awesome. That's what is needed now. Don't be shy. It's not selfish to lean back and let yourself be held. Let yourself be held and supported. So let's call in the energy of the directions. Let's call them by name, or the energy of the elements, earthen energetic vibration with our beautiful rich red sage that we burned this morning in the start of our video today. And that energy of that earth, Gaia Mother, that lineage energetic of being supported and held by the mother, but not the pressure. Let us cut the cords of pressure, of expectation for us to be like Mother Earth. You already are created in the energy image of the Mother of Earth. You don't have to prove that. You don't have to overdo it. You don't have to overachieve. You don't have to constantly show up all the time for everybody and everything, because the earth is what is showing up for us and helping to guide us. Thank you so much. I just got, oh, look, it's all heated up. Thank you. Oh, it just got heated up too. Oh, that's so sweet. So you see, you don't have to always be the one that shows up and supports everybody and brings them coffee. You can also receive that. And so that's your job. That's our job. That's my job too, is to learn how to be present, to accept and receive what is coming in, the energy of support that is present without the judgment. Now, that is difficult. That is difficult, because what do? We judge. Because why? Because we're supposed to. We're supposed to. We're supposed to analyze situations and circumstances. We're supposed to make decisions that are based on rationalizations and well thought out plans. And sometimes then what happens is we are such overachievers that we go over and 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 overthink. And when we overthink, it becomes what? A detriment. And it becomes a toxin, that thinking process, because we're so good at it and we're constantly doing that. We're relying too much on that. And that process becomes what feeds fear and then creates anxiety within the body, within the heart. So for you here now today, earth and energy is showing up to allow you to be embraced by just what is natural. What is natural? What is natural? Have a drink of water. That's natural. Have a breath of air. That's natural. Calling in and honoring the two additional elements that were just named, water and the well, like the bowl of the belly of the goddess, the well of energy in the water element, the generative nature of water, the purifying nature of water, the clean, clear, fresh, refreshing energy of water, the abundance of it, the symbolism that creates and supports growth. That's water element, right? And when water gets too overachieving, when we rely on water too much, we take it for granted. We lose gratitude, and gratitude is essential for generosity, and generosity is essential for abundance. If we rely on natural flow and looking at water as teacher, as guide, as a spirit guide, that is when we're all blessed with the beautiful connections and the boons of the energy from the water that creates power, that feeds all of us without the discernment of the birds or the power plants. No judgment there, is there? Is there judgment by water? Is there? When the water is overused, it can create massive tsunamis that destroy man-made things in an instant, to cleanse and clear and purify the land. Completely misunderstood. Completely misunderstood. The power of the water cannot be contained. This is like your spirit, in addition. And now let's honor the element of air. This is a beautiful crow feather. I work with crow medicine. I was going to say not by choice, because I don't really, like, how do I work with, when I say medicine, I'm just saying the acceptance of what is natural into a form that can be utilized to help to give me momentum, help me to be inspired, help me to be healthy. So when I say crow medicine, I found this on a walk through my yard. Oh, some time ago now. I don't know. It's been months that I've had it. And much like you would use a feather to kind of work with your sage, I use this for myself because I have the energy of that crow medicine, which those crows so mystic and mystical and also very misunderstood, right? Look up the totem meaning of crow or maybe a blackbird or a raven. So often they're judged. They are judged by that darkness of energy. They're not hiding. They are protecting. They are protecting what is underneath those feathers. They are protectors. And they have great third eyes. They can see treasures. Mhm. Maybe like us humans, not always so good with discernment as to what is a treasure and what is maybe not. And it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. And the crow sometimes confuses that again, like humans. But the crow medicine, they're always out here in the yard, and I think they're beautiful. I think they're beautiful. I have no problem with them whatsoever. So the crow will use this energy and medicine. If you choose to receive that, you can. Again, when I say medicine, what I mean is taking the energy and the understanding and it's like taking leaves and crunching them down and making them into tea. It's like that. You take it and make it into alchemy and use it for yourself however you want to, whether it be just have that feather that you find on your walk and you bring it home and you put it on your altar. And an altar is just really a collection of things. And oftentimes there's themes, sometimes it's intention. It's kind of like a vision board that you can touch. That's what an altar is like. So, well, all these things sound so spiritual and so woohoo out there. They're so natural. So this is what we're talking about right now, apparently. That's what we're talking about in our video today is about, we said earth, we did water, and now we're in the air element using the feather, the winged things. The feathers represent that air element and energy. And the connection for us between the heavens and the earth often feels like animal, feels like totem animals, feels like the spirit and souls of animals. For us, as a spirit, as a soul, which many of us have been many different things in multiple lifetimes and experiences. So, okay. So yay, that was interesting. Let us feel into now the fire element. I'm not going to call it in and bring it in. I'm going to acknowledge it as balance of energy and as a source of energy. So like below the earth, at the center of the earth, that magma, that lava, that light energy, that heat, warmth there, it exists there. And as well, when I create the smoke from the sage bundle burning, it was used there as well. And so I'm just going to honor that, but I'm not going to bring it front and center because it feels much more modest today. It feels more humbled and part of the support structure of the earth than the water and the air. Okay, earth, water, air. It's like land and sky, just the balancing of energies. I can feel that vibes I'm feeling this morning. Perhaps it's for me. And when I'm just starting to read this book, it might be that. It could be that for sure. So. All right. So I'm going to do something a little different this morning. I'm going to check in the chat and see how people are doing. See what's on your heart or your mind today. I'm going to check in. Hi, Cammie. Hey, Queen, of course, Queen's in the house. What's on your heart or your mind today? Good morning, Kelly. Yeah, tired of expectations. Cirque, good morning to you. Good. We don't usually do, it's not really I don't, okay, let's be clear on this. If you're new in the chat or new on the channel, I don't, in my psychic and mediumship work, I don't just show up on YouTube and do question and answer. That's not, I've been doing psychic and mediumship work for 20 years. And it's a very intimate connection for me and personal and really sacred. So I don't do that here in a big, large group for just anybody to come in and just kind of watch, because that's kind of creepy a little bit. I think I don't want somebody else watching me get a reading. That's just weird to me, unless it's a sacred container. And so if you're interested in something like that, in the description of my videos, you'll see, and also on my website at abovelifechannel.com, you will see that there is the next group or private group where you can ask questions and participate. It's a whole experience. So it's a healing experience too. It's not just like it's not like just, hey, I'm a card reader, or hey, I'm just going to do question and answer, I'm going to tell your future. That's not what I do. It's a different, more whole experience focused on healing and your personal growth and your personal empowerment in the process. So, but we do have experiences, so that's good. And the energy of things, and we're connected because of the empathic nature of who we are. And that's what usually draws people to Above Life Channel. So I am glad that you're here. So if you're interested in that, the group is $40, and the next one is June 4th at 6 p.m. Central Time, and you can register for that by clicking on the link in the description below, or going to abovelifechannel.com and checking out the services and clicking on it there. So, all right. So how are we feeling today? Like what's on our heads or our hearts today? What's on our minds and our hearts today? What's on our minds and our hearts today? I'm good, just tired. Yeah. Oh, remembering the veterans. Yes. Thank you for your service. Memorial Day. When I think of Memorial Day, I think of all the loved ones that we've lost. So it really is kind of a psychic day, isn't it? A connection day. It's Memorial Day. For those of you who are watching all around the globe, Memorial Day is a day that we celebrate in the United States, and really honoring veterans and for their service. And then also for those of us who don't have maybe veterans in our family. I guess everybody pretty much has veterans in their family, because I do too. My grandfather was a veteran, but it's not like a big part of our family history. But connect to, hey, hi Dee, nice to see you. But it's a good day to connect with all the loved ones that we've lost, to really respect grief as a whole, and grief as a vehicle for healing. Super important, right? And so on these days when things kind of get rough and hard, or we feel overwhelmed by emotion and energy of other people, because just watching other people in the ceremonies, it just gets you, and you feel that, like, why is that? Why are you moved so much? If it doesn't directly impact you, but you're there and you feel the ceremony and you feel the drums and you hear the words that are spoken and the honoring energy, but it gets you so much. Because why? Because we are all connected, regardless of your political opinions, views, belief systems, or whether you directly have somebody that's in the military now, or, does it affect different people differently? Yeah, because we're different. Like, that's the point. It should be a mosaic of energy, of experiences, of feelings and emotions. But this is an opportunity to recognize how we are so connected, whether you like it or not. We are all connected. And so, because of that, there is a resonance to grief energy. And I think that's also why it's really important to acknowledge and recognize that even though someone or a person or an animal has made their transition into the afterlife, they are still accessible to you through this heart space, the empathic channel, not just through emotion, not just through emotion, but through your intuition. So when you drop into your heart space as an empath, the feeling energy, go deeper. Let your energy and your awareness, let your awareness drop deeper into the low belly. Like your goal is the belly button, okay? Go in toward the belly button, be in the heart space, feel that energy of that person that you're missing or thinking about, or that little beautiful fur baby that you're missing. And drop in. Go to that belly button area, start at the heart. As you exhale, drop into the belly button area. It is important to acknowledge the body. That is why breathing, and when people tell you to like touch your heart, that is not hokey. Okay. That's not just for fun and shits and giggles. Okay. That legitimately is a thing, people, because your body is intuitive. Your body is psychic. Your body holds energy. How many of you get headaches when you're stressed, or tummy aches when you're stressed or nervous? Yes, so the body does. It does understand energy. So let us recognize the wisdom of the body. And your body might be talking to you a lot, especially if you've got joint pain, if you got a backache, what you carrying, what load you carrying that ain't your load. Hmm? Hmm? Which side of the body do you constantly have an issue with? Is it that right side? Is it is it that dominant side? Is it that kind of masculine, take control, take charge side that you're always trying to like get in somebody else's business? Or you got some issue with like some past experience with your dad who's now in the afterlife and you just can't get rid of this nagging, unfortunate side that bugs you, bugs you, bugs you. Your body's trying to help you heal, my friend. That is what is happening. So, heart, belly button, breathe. Use the air element. Drop down into the low belly, into that belly button area. And sense and feel energy. Sense and feel. You can connect. You can. It will take the opportunity to consistently consider that your brain is going to say, no, that's a bunch of crap. That's so stupid. That's not going to work. You can't just like breathe and touch your body and talk to heaven. It doesn't work like that. Oh, okay. Thanks, brain, because you're so great. You've done such a good job for me now. Because most of the time you tell me how crappy I'm doing, and that is not motivating, brain. So take a pill for a second and sit back and relax. And I will feel the energy and the presence of my body. And I'll feel the love in my heart for that person. And I'll drop into my belly and ask for connection. Now, I'm going to tell you, when you're trying to connect, don't be afraid that somebody is not going to just materialize, okay? They're not going to just go like an episode of Star Trek. They're not going to just beam in or something. Like that's in the movies, okay? And you're not going to like, boom, all of a sudden they're there. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that because the energetics of spirit trying to share, people who are in their spirit or as souls who are functioning as soul and don't have a body have to use other ways, energy ways to connect and communicate with you. So that's what messages are about. So radio, music, somebody else's words, some little kid says something and you're like, whoa, whoa, you just sounded like my dad. What the heck? Or somebody says a particular word that grandma used to say, or there's you're scrolling on Amazon, going to add something to your cart, and something else comes up that reminds you of somebody. It's a journal, or it's a book, or whatever that may be. And that's also, by the way, not just people who are souls that are former people do that for you, but also your spirit guides will. And I know that's where it gets confusing. Okay, I know that's where it gets confusing. So we're not going to focus on the spirit guide piece. We're going to focus on the people you know, that you've known, that have been embodied. Okay, or your animal, your little fur baby, because that, for a lot of people, that is such a heart connection. And just because the soul was a four-legged and not a two-legged doesn't mean there's any less value in that, So. All right. So that's what you do. You feel into your body. You got to be in your body. You can use your brain to have a memory of that person, to bring them forward, to think of a time when you had a great time with them, or what might come forward is you might have sadness that comes in. I've been thinking about my grandma actually the last couple days, and she died in April of 2023. And I was with her. I was at her bedside. I had gone there a couple of days into the care facility that she was in. And we knew, she was on hospice care, but I was there with her at night. And it was just it was an act of service and love that I was able to do for my grandmother at the end of her life, as I did for my grandfather at the end of his. I was also there at the end of his life. And they're my dad's parents. So if you know my story, my dad is also in the afterlife. So I have that three family from my dad is in the afterlife. And so I've been thinking about her a little bit, and I wasn't particularly close to my grandmother, but she and my grandfather just took me in after I moved out of my house when I was 18 or 19, might have been 19. My first year of college, I came home and then packed everything up and left. It was a whole thing. And I lived with my grandparents. They accepted me into their home and they took care of me like parents do, like made sure I had food, and I didn't have a car or anything like that. So they gave me rides to work and made sure I got to school, and, would come and bring me groceries. It was just a lovely, appreciative connection that I have. A lot of gratitude. I would have never graduated from college if it wasn't for my grandparents. I have so much thankfulness and gratitude. So do you see how this is working? I mentioned my grandmother. I'm starting to talk to you about her. I'm sharing a story with you about her and my love and experience with both of my grandparents that also then brought in my dad. So that's three. And I'm having this memory and I'm feeling in my body. Do you see how the connection works? It starts to open up. Now I'm open to this. I'm open to the connection. And she showed me a couple of times, she's kind of like, hey, I know you're working with doing, this work again, and you're opening to doing mediumship again. And she's like, she came through a couple of times, and I finally just acknowledged her. And she said, she showed me, this will happen for you. You'll see it in your mind like a memory. Okay. So I'm talking about my grandma, and we're kind of I didn't like sit down and go, grandmother, talk to me. It's not like that, you guys. Like I was like doing my own shit. I was doing the laundry. I was writing in my journal something totally unrelated, like that's kind of the stuff, right? I'm doing normal people things, letting the dogs out. Okay. And this is when this stuff is happening. And I'm noticing it. It's my job to notice the stuff, but I'm kind of ignoring it, kind of like, oh, yeah, okay. I know. It's because the afterlife, because I'm going to be working with the spirits again, like that. I'm talking to dead people again, and because I'm officially going to do that for people. I get it, because they're supportive of me to do that, right? They're the ones that are helping me to do it, right? And so I'm like, okay, Graham. And she shows me this picture in my head of being in her room at her care facility, and it's the middle of the night. It's like 1:00 in the morning. maybe midnight. Everything's quiet. And it was just, and if you've ever been in a situation where someone's near end of life, their breathing is really bothersome. It starts to become really hard to forget. And it can be traumatic to hear that over and over and over again. It's like a rhythmic kind of thing, and it can be really hard for people. So if that's part of your auditory experience, your clairaudience, I'm sorry, because it is hard. The sound of the machines in the room or what have you. I am really sorry for that because that is hard. That is really hard. We should talk about that in one of our other videos because I have some tips because that was part of my experience with my dad. So I decided to, because she was obviously unconscious and just doing, breathing. The body had not left yet, but I could feel her spirit next to her body and not in her body. So that felt good to me because I knew that she was hearing everything I was saying and experiencing this, but in a different way. So it was like she and I were visiting, like her soul and I were sitting and we were watching just waiting for her body to die kind of thing. But we weren't talking the whole time, but we were talking. And she showed me, and nobody else was there, it's just me. Like none of the care people. Every once in a while, they would come in and reposition her body, and that was it. And I turned on some music from like the 40s. And actually earlier, it might have been even, but really old school, like, music. And her and my grandfather used to dance. Like they were great dancers. That's how they met, at a dance. That was the thing, I guess, back in the 40s or whatever. Yeah. They had dance halls and they met at the dance hall kind of thing. And so, and my grandpa used to always say grandma had great legs. She had a great set of gams, he said. She was tall and yeah, she was pretty. And so I remember the story of how they met and dancing. And I used to remember them dancing at weddings and stuff too. It was just like a nice memory, right? And so I was thinking about that when I was there that night. And I turned on the music and had it going loud. And I was just sitting there and listening to the music. And in my mind's eye, I was seeing my grandparents reunited and dancing, just dancing all around the room. And like that was my dream for her. Like I wanted that for both of them. And to be a part of that experience was just beautiful. What a gift, right? And she showed me that. She showed me sitting next to the bed in this chair and the music playing in the background and kind of dozing off to sleep because I kind of kept starting to fall asleep and I'd listen to hear the music and that they were there and they were dancing, And so she showed me that memory and she's like, this is beautiful. Like this is what I remember. And so the little moments like that you have, do not discount those. Do you understand me right now? Do not chalk that up to, oh, it's my imagination. Do not disrespect soul, spirit, higher power, creator, God, consciousness, universe. Do not disrespect life source energy to say that wasn't something beautiful, energetic, and connected. Because it is. That's exactly how it happens, you guys. And we talk ourselves out of how we connect and communicate spiritually with each other. We talk ourselves out of it because we have stories of scary things that happen with energy and fear because we're so tender that we take on other people's crap and everybody's always complaining and all this stuff, right? Well, that's the perception of things, right? There's a good side, there's a flip side, there's a positive side to your sensitivity, there's a positive side to your empathy, there's a positive side to being a soul. You get to connect with soul. And if you cry and you're sad and you're mad at them or whatever your emotions are great. They are a beautiful expression when they're coming out of you like a fountain. They're a water element. And what do we talk about with water? It flows. It's It's growth, it's healing, it's abundance, it's generative, it's prosperity. That means healing, not just for you, but for the energy of the entire family that you're connected to with that person, or all the people that you were connected to. If it's a friend, your friend group, you are healing and feeling for everybody that is connected to that person, from the past, people who've already died, and to the future, people who aren't even born yet. That is really how powerful spirit connection is. That is how powerful it is to have a soul. That is why intuition is the crowning jewel of this life experience, because it ain't just about the physical, it's about the metaphysical, it's about the other senses, right? Just like it's about the other elements: earth, water, air, and fire. It's about all of it, all of it. And it's all available to you. It is. And there's so many great books that tell you how to use your intuition, how to communicate with the afterlife. There's all sorts of famous psychics that you can see on YouTube, that you can read books about, and the ones that you're drawn to. I would highly recommend. Well, let me see. Can I do that? Yes, you can say whatever you want. It's your channel. Thank you. Yourself. Oh God. Okay. You can say whatever you want. It's your channel. I have been very drawn to old school psychics, people who've done it back in the day when it wasn't cool, when everybody wasn't buying a card deck and saying they're intuitive, right? And so then they're going to charge a bunch of money. Everybody is intuitive. Everybody can use card decks. That's a great service. If you work with somebody who is psychic, make sure they are either clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. Okay, make sure they have other things besides just a card deck. Okay, please, there's so much that's not helpful or healthy out there right now. Use your discernment. Don't be scared, but don't be afraid to be like, you're full of crap, and go to find somebody who isn't, because there's a lot of people who aren't either. Okay, there's a lot of wonderful, loving, very great, gifted, talented people. So I go to people like, right now, this is what I've been doing the last couple months. Actually, this is why I'm going back to mediumship. I'm going to be offering that and doing that, is because of people like, and you may or may not like them or their style. That's fine. It doesn't matter. There's somebody for everybody. It's like the same. We don't wear the same clothes. We don't like the same music, because there's different types in the genres, right? Different ways and styles. But like John Edward, super legit. James Van Prague. Yes, old school, but he's got like a very old school. They're very old school. I don't agree with every way that they do things, but some core things are, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, yep. Oh my gosh, exactly right. Yes, me too. Yes, that's yes. Oh my gosh, now you gave me words to be able to explain this to people, because I don't know how to explain this, but this, yes. Oh, and then I'm like, oh, it's okay for me to say that to people, because I usually don't, because it sounds kind of rude. Like, I think it's rude. Did you guys just see that flicker? Do your work. I know. I hear it all the time. Let me just tell you. God, I have so many spirit guides. All of a sudden I have a spirit guide that's kind of being a butt, and I don't know who. I have no idea who you are. He looks like a manager. He might be my, oh my God, what the heck is that? Are you new? Been waiting for you for quite a while. It's like a road manager, like a stage manager, but on the road. I'm not going on the road as far as I know. Okay. His name is either Russ or Roscoe. Russ, R-U-S. Or Rusty. Russ. I'm going to call him Russ. I have no idea what he's going to do, but he's working with me, I guess. This is interesting. But like I said, you guys, I'm going to just try to say the stuff that comes in. And so you're going to get a lot of my stuff. You know why? Because I'm not doing readings for people publicly on this channel. I'm just not going to do that. Oh, I shouldn't say never, but not. Okay, I need to stop. I've been talking for a really long time, you guys. I kind of thought there might be a celebrity that pops in. And had I talked to my friend, I would have channeled somebody for her, for you guys, for her birthday. So I haven't talked to her yet today. But when I do, if she picks somebody for me to channel that is a celebrity or an angel or a spirit guide, I will channel it next week for you guys. Everybody gets to benefit from my friends and their birthdays. Hi, Tanya. Nice to see you. Oh, good. Good for you. Good for you. Hey, Deja. Nice to see you. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Yes, you can fire your spirit guide. Somebody just said. Thank you, Kelly. Here's the fire element, everyone. The fire element is coming in. Can we fire our spirit guides? Yes. But I'm going to promise you, you're going to rehire them pretty damn quick. You can request different ones. You can request their attitude to not be so sassy, but I'm guessing that part of the reason why you want to fire them is because they are probably on your case, girlfriend. I shouldn't say girlfriend because Kelly, gender neutral. On your case. That's probably why. But yes, I think that I know that I've been a spirit guide. And it is a hard job. Let me just tell you, I feel like I'm a spirit guide right now in this lifetime, a little bit now, because I literally have had a total new life experience now, like after my surgery and being in my near-death experience and having that whole thing happen. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm lucky to be alive. And what am I here for? And all that stuff. I didn't have any major like conscious crisis of consciousness or anything, but it's like, I remember being a spirit guide. It is hard work. It is not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. So let's be a little nicer to them, because remember, they agreed. We probably had to talk them into it, but they agreed and they are showing up and they are doing a good job. We are the ones that are fucking things up. Let me just say. Okay. Ooh, I got some other stuff. I can just hang out here for a little bit. I mean, I do have to get ready because I got to clear my energy and get ready for session and who knows. So I have wrapped up in my little black cloth because I set them outside during the full moon that we had and then also during sun. I wanted both the energies of the sun and the lunar energy of the moon. So I have some crystals to share with you today. I'll do a little show and tell. Which this would be a really great crystal, stone, rock if you are working on your intuition, if you're trying to communicate with your spirit guides in the afterlife, or if you are talking to your loved ones in the afterlife, because this will help you with clear communication. These beautiful yellow stones are citrine. Citrine is a stone that I have used for communication for years. When I started off 20 years ago this year, thank you very much, 20 years ago this year. I'm 20 this year, yay. This is connected for me to Archangel Gabriel. And what does Gabriel do here above Life Channel? Communication and connection, helps with relationships, can help with that mother-child dynamic or parent-child dynamic. So citrine, it is a crystal like quartz, but it is yellow. It's got yellow to it. These ones are big chunky chunks. I like these ones. I had these ones in a big bag that I got like years ago, a long time. I've had these for a long time, but I wanted to set them outside to get what? Energized. So I use lunar energy and solar energy because this is a solar plexus stone to the tummy, to the belly for intuition, clear communication, clear connection. If you're trying to make a decision also, I find that citrine's a good one to put on your altar space, put in your pocket. Citrine's a lovely color, this yellow, lovely for spirit connection and contact. Okay. Citrine also is a unique stone because it does clear itself. Like it's very regenerative. It's not something that you have to constantly clear or anything. I just wanted to charge it because I thought it'd be cool, especially when I came across them. And I have 3 of them that I'll be using, putting on my altar today. There you go. Nice, huh? Nice, nice. So crystals, whether you wear them on a necklace or a keychain or a bracelet, etc., even gemstones, like even if they're simulated, it's not bad. It's still the symbolic nature of it can still work for you. Just so you know, if you have a ruby or something like that, I'm just saying that because it's all about the symbolism of it. But with these, the raw crystals, it's about the vibration and the energy of it. It's really about the vibes. So crystals can be used as medicine, not to ingest, obviously. Hello, Abby. We obviously know that. But to use energetically, especially because why? Metaphysically, we are so empathic. We are absorbing energy all the time. And we have a choice of what we want to have absorbed, right? So you can use stones, rocks, and crystals to adjust your vibration. You can put them in your pillowcase. You can sleep with them next to your bed. You can kind of cluster them together. Crystals, like stones and rocks, they like to be friends with each other. They have some pairings that work really well together. As if you're looking for a resource about crystals and what they mean and what they do, the Crystal Bible is an OG, old school one that I would recommend if you want something like that. Otherwise, you can just use the internet and look it up. But check a couple different sources so you get, because you're not going to get a full, robust, you're going to get different takes on it, especially if they're through the lens of a particular practice. If they're through like a Wiccan or a pagan or an angelic lens, they're different lenses. So you're going to get a little bit of a different, and through different cultures too, like the Celts might have a different take, versus the Nordic guides, that kind of thing. Although those guys are pretty close to each other, but do you know what I'm saying, right? There's different indigenous peoples have different connections to different stones. For example, red jasper is a stone that I use all the time. Red jasper, it looks kind of like a tomatoey color and it's usually veined. I use it all the time for grounding. I will put those rocks in my pockets if I feel out of my body, if I feel lightheaded, if I've taken medication and I feel like it's messing with me, because blood pressure medicine does mess with me. I'll put rocks in my pockets like that. Or if I'm nervous or anxious, I'll put crystals in my pockets like that. The red jasper I like that better than hematite, because hematite just seems so heavy to me. But for some people, they like hematite. So for example, crystals can be actually like prescription. They can be medicine. And I often will say that to people. If I'm in a session, I'll go, hey, you can use this, this, and this, because you're empathic. It supports your energy. So there you go. Archangel Gabriel. Could also be Ural, if that's your jam. If you're working with Archangel Ural. Could also be Chummel. Chummel maybe might do this as well. So depends. Okay, we're going to put these on my altar space. All right. Okay, my lovelies, this has been a great Monday video, filled and packed with information, lots of information. We talked about elements, we talked about crystals, we talked about energy, we talked about soul, we talked about spirit, we talked about how to drop into the body, how important the body is for connection in the heart and the soul, and how you can be connecting to your spirit of your loved ones. Yes, you can be connecting to them. 100% you can connect with them. 100,000 bazillion%. Stop resisting. I need 5 more signs, because these 3 that you've already given me just aren't enough. The song on the radio, that wasn't enough. The book, that wasn't enough. The image of the memory in my mind randomly popping in, that wasn't enough. Like, what do they have to do? Backflips? This is not Cirque du Soleil, people. This is spirit connection. Connecting with your own spirit is going to help you connect with the spirit of others, whether it be your spirit guides or your loved ones. So start with you. Okay. If you're looking for a really basic, easy to read, fast read book, My first book that I ever got about intuition was The Gift by Echo Bodine. The Gift by Echo, but it's like 25 years old. Super easy read. I read it in a weekend. I wanted to understand what psychic gifts were, what clairvoyance was, what clairaudience was, what clairsentience was. That book worked really well for me to describe what was already happening to me. Okay. To describe what was already happening to me. Recently, like this, I'm trying to remember. I was having a conversation with my partner about this just to remember. Is there any other psychic book I've read besides, because I've always had this very strong feeling of, no, I'm not reading a bunch of psychic books to learn how to be psychic, because I'm like, I'll just talk to the spirit guides. Like, they'll show up if I just say, hey, Saint Germain, can you come in here and talk to me about business stuff? Hey, Saint Francis of Assisi, can you come in here and talk to me about your connection to Wayne Dyer? Or hey, Louise, hey, can you come in here and talk to me about healing and how this works and what's the deal with the affirmations? Like, does it really work and how does it work? I will just talk to them directly. That has been my approach this whole 20 years of my life. Except that one book. I could not remember another book that I've read that is specifically how to, or this is what you do, like that was. Okay. But it just gives you the basics of the clairs, the clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, to understand the basic gifts that way. So I don't necessarily have another like basic intuition, how to use your intuition book. I haven't read that. I haven't even looked for anything like that. So I'm thinking maybe to be responsible, I probably should start maybe looking at some of that stuff so I can tell you guys, hey, try this. Hey, do this. I'm like, I should just fucking write one. That might be easier. But I will tell you that a month ago, I read a book by John Edward. He was the first psychic that I ever actually. And I've channeled like Debbie Ford, Wayne Dyer. He wasn't really psychic, and Louise Hay, and who's that lady with the really long that people don't like, a weird voice? What's her name? Sylvia Brown. I've channeled her also. Her books, yeah, I don't know, unless she had a ghostwriter. I don't know. But John Edward was the first one that, before I was psychic, I think I actually watched him. I'm trying to remember. The timing was kind of weird because I was on maternity leave when his TV show was on air. And so I know I watched his TV show because I was curious about it. I thought, wow, this is crazy. Because I grew up in a household with paranormal experiences. So like ghosts and the afterlife and spirits and stuff was no big deal. Like, that's normal, kind of. I thought that was normal. And so watching his show when I was on maternity leave was awesome. And I think I was on bed rest too. So I think I was on a long stretch. It might have been with 2 kids too, actually, because I had kids really close, super close. Every year and a half for like 3 years, I had kids when I was in my 30s. So right away, he was the one I thought of. I thought, who do I know that's a really good medium? Like, who do I know? I couldn't think of anybody. I'm like old school. There's some old school psychics that I'm like, I'm going to go back to the OGs. And I'm like, he is the one that I identify the most with, like style wise too, like his sense of humor and the way he handles things and how fast he talks and all the stuff, like the similar thing. I'm like, oh my God. And oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, same. I'm like, okay. So I decided to, I listened to an interview that he did with somebody. I think it was Howie Mandel or something. So what had happened, we're over an hour here. You guys can get bored here, but I opened myself up to, because I kept getting mediumship stuff. And I'm like, what's the deal with this? Why is this such a thing? And I'm like, I've been there. So maybe now it'll be easier for me to actually communicate with the afterlife, because I understand what it's like to be in kind of that in-between space and how important it is for people and how much healing it can do and this whole grief thing. And I've done stuff the last few years that are related to like death rites and anointing people when they're dying and all sorts of stuff like that is about end of life, And I'm like, I've been working with the archetype of called Queen of Death. There's just a lot of stuff that's come up around it that I'm like, maybe this is a thing. And so he may have, and I don't exactly remember because my brain doesn't always work like right now. I don't always make the connections in intellectually, but metaphysically it's easy. It's so weird. I'm like, oh my God, I can't remember shit, but I can psychic it. So I may have, the order might be different. Like I may have been thinking about like it's coming because it's something that's being recommended by my spirit guides, right? And I'm like, I'm thinking about it because it's my idea, maybe I should do something. How can I give back? What should I do? How can I help people better? How can I do a better job of what I can do? And is it fair for me just not to do it? Because I'm like, the market's saturated. There's a lot of people out there. It's just too much work. It's so freaking much work to do afterlife stuff. It's a lot of energy for me. It requires a whole hot level of stamina. I have to take better care of my body. I have to eat better. Do I really fucking want to do that? I don't know. I like pie. Okay. I like cookies and coffee and caffeine. And do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, do I really want to do this? And then I saw an interview that he did, and I'm remembering it now. Either that or I'm intuiting it. I don't freaking know, but I can see Howie Mandel and him talking. And I listened to it and I was like, oh my God, he's like me. He's so much like me. He's saying things that I say. Like I've said that exact same thing. And I'm like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? And I'm like, oh my God. And so I think we're probably about the same age. He might be a little older than me. I think he's older than me, but I don't know. And I was just like, him. He doesn't know, but he's going to help me. Him. I pick you. And so I looked up different books that he had. I'm like, come on, John, you got to have some kind of freaking book that I can look at or read or hear about your experience and understand your journey, because I need to feel connected here. I need to have some kind of frame of reference for this specifically, because I never did. I didn't have anybody else that did what I did that could do it in a way that I wouldn't surpass them quickly. I'm not saying that from an ego place. It's just the truth. I could just, like I'm not going to call up some famous psychic and go, hey, can you mentor me? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that. That's not going to happen. And so I'm like, I mentor people. The responsible thing here would be for me to learn about this from somebody that I feel like kind of has their shit together, or we have some similarities. I ain't saying they're perfect because they're people. Okay. They're freaking human. Psychics are people. We are not saints. Okay. Totally different. Don't confuse us. So I read this book, Infinite Quest. I'm like, dude, yes. I'm like, oh my God, that is a decent book. So if you are already intuitive and if you're already doing card readings for people, or if you are starting to do them for yourself, that book I thought was decent. Okay. But it talks about his experiences, and he's super responsible about, hey, you can't just do readings for people. Hey, you can't just go talk to the afterlife. Hey, you have one experience. It doesn't mean you can be a psychic as a professional and that's your job and you can charge people. Hey, be ethical. Hey, be in integrity. Hey, here's some things you should notice. Here's some patterns that people will have. Here's some patterns that you have. Like, I thought it was decent. So that's one that I could maybe recommend, depending upon where you're at on your journey, specifically related to spirits, like afterlife people, not like future predictions or that kind of psychicness. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a difference between psychic and mediumship. And in order to be a medium, you do have to be psychic. So you have to have all the spiritual gifts in order to be a medium. But you don't have to be a medium to be psychic, because you could just do future predictions. You could do spirit guide stuff, but to talk to the afterlife, there's a whole different level of stuff. You got to be able to, because there's too much. You got to have all of it. You got to have all of it. And people nowadays, there's like classes online that people can take to be a medium, and classes they can do I'm like, that is not responsible. It's like saying, hey, take this class on grief and you can be a counselor or a social worker. No, there's a bachelor's degree program for that for a reason, and a couple of years of study that you have to do in addition to that, or a master's degree and practicing apprenticing. Okay, like there's rules for that stuff. So it's like the wild, wild west out there with the mediumship stuff, which there needs to be a new, I believe there has to be, because we're dealing with grief, and grief affects everybody in a family, not just the person, one or two people, everybody. It affects the rest of the lineage, and it can be held and passed on, and it can destroy things or it can heal things. And if you have the help of like a mediumship connection, if that's something that you need on your healing, if you need that, not everybody needs that. If you need that on your healing journey, it has to be at a high level of understanding so that it's the quality experience, and so that it's not going to make things worse for people. It's going to allow them the transitional moments that they need to be able to regain control of their life again, or begin again, or heal some have some opportunity to actually start to communicate with each other. And there's just so much opportunities that show up during a grief process, because people for a short window of time are open. They are open because they are like feeling it. They are open to expressing their feelings, to talking about their feelings, to sharing their feelings. But that window that they're open happens at different times for different people. And so you have to understand that. And you can't just go, oh, blah, 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 nah, nah. I mean, you have to just have, this is why I have a certification in natural lifemanship. This is why I have a which is all about equine assisted coaching, which is all about trauma informed care. This is why I have that. This is why I did that during freaking COVID, people. I did that with, there was no other coaches in there. It was all therapists, because I needed understanding about how trauma is trapped in the body, and how our bodies help us, and how how we're affected by all sorts of things that happen to us. And grief is a huge part of that, because grief stalls people out and changes the trajectory of their life. And it does not have to. And it can in a positive way. It can in a legacy-like way. It can in a really helping humanity kind of way, and in a find your happiness kind of way. And I think that's being lost. That is being lost by people just going, hey, yeah, I can talk to your dad. It's like, what? No, you can't do things in a vacuum. You got to kind of understand and hold the space. And it's got to be, I'm not saying come to me. I'm just saying find somebody that really feels an alignment and knows their stuff. And it's not about the ego, and it's not about, how great they are or whatever. It's just, it's got to really be from a heart space, and they have to have done the work and had the experiences. So I feel like that's really important for me to be doing right now, is that. So that's why I read Infinite Quest. Mm-hmm. So like John Edward doesn't even know, but he's helping to mentor me. He has no idea. He'd be like, who are you? I'm like, sorry. No idea, and I'm sure there's other in really good psychic mediums. And if you know them, if you have recommendations, I think you can, don't put links, because the links won't show up on YouTube, but you can put them in the comments. And if there's a problem with that, like YouTube doesn't accept that, you can go to my Facebook page on Above Life channel, and maybe I'll do a post, and then below that you guys can share different psychic mediums that you've had really good experiences with, or you've read their books, and their books are great for you, because if you put the list of the books and the resources that they have and stuff, like if they have free stuff, like I don't know if you like Byron Katie's work and you want to write about that, or I mean, there's a lot, I know Colette Baron Reed has stuff. I know there's a lot of people out there, and people relate to different people at different times in your journey. So it might be good to do that. And then you guys can share it with each other. So I'll do that on Facebook. I'll start a thread for that. Okay. You can put some stuff in you can put names or book titles in the chat. If you have access to it right now, you can do that. Or you can put it also on in the comment section of this video, okay? But don't put links, because it'll stop it. It thinks it's spam. You can't put links. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, just so you know. Okay. All right. Okay, we got to get done. We got to get done here because I'm keeping you guys forever, and I need to get ready because I have to walk. I have to do some stuff. I have to eat. before I have session, because I got a session today and then I got other stuff to do this afternoon. And I love you guys, and you're so fun to hang out with. And I know this is a really long video, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it has inspired your spirit in a lot of different ways. This has been a buffet today. It's like pretend like we've been at a picnic, which is a traditional Memorial Day thing. Everybody has a picnic, everybody brings stuff, brings it like a potluck and sets it all out. It's been like a potluck. It's been like a picnic today. So you can pick the stuff that works for you and the stuff that doesn't, you can set it aside. Okay. You say hello in the chat again. Hello, Scotland. Hello, Kat. Hello, Katrina. Hello, Michelle. Newbie, nice to see you. Wade's here. I don't know if I said hi to you earlier. Hello. Oh, thank you. Hey, Temple, nice to see you. Hello to California. You guys are awesome in here. Hi, Kathy. Thank you, Kathy. Good energy vibes. Thank you. Thank you, Kat. All right, my lovies. We're going to wrap up today. Hope we've inspired your spirit and filled you with hope and encouraged you to live your life. This is your life after all, and you get to live it. Just live it. And I promise, if my friend says that she wants a channel next week, I will do one. I have no idea who it will be or what it will be, but I will do it for her. Okay. Thanks so much for being here, everybody.